Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at a transcript from a reaction video, specifically one where the host watches an explosion visualization that goes from a firecracker all the way up to the Tsar Bomba.
Yeah, and he's giving jokes, commentary, all of that. So let's dive right in.
So the first thing that really jumps out is this idea of narrative consistency. I mean, specifically with that recurring construction worker character.
Oh, absolutely. It's actually a brilliant instinct right at the beginning. The creator finds this little guy, this proxy.
Right, at the playground.
And he uses him to ground everything. When the grenade goes off, he says, my boy was simply just trying to have a nice day.
It makes it human. It gives you stakes.
It gives you stakes, exactly. But here's the weakness. As the explosions get bigger, that whole device just kind of dissolves.
It does. It falls apart. And there's a specific moment, isn't there?
There is. When we get to the tall boy bomb, the host just declares him dead. He says he's just gone.
And, logically, he would be.
Of course, he'd be vaporized. But narratively, you've just lost your anchor. You've lost your main character.
So the jump from one person's tragedy to this massive city-level destruction, it feels disconnected.
Totally disconnected. You've killed off the bridge between those two ideas. The so what factor just kind of deflates.
Okay, so the suggestion then is you have to maintain that human proxy, right? Don't abandon him.
Don't abandon him. Keep him in the story all the way through, even when it seems impossible.
So what does that look like instead of just saying he's gone after, say, the Hellfire?
You shift perspective. You could say, okay, our construction worker is now just a microscopic pixel in the middle of that crater.
Or maybe he's a witness now. He's on a balcony in one of those buildings watching the shockwave.
Yes, you keep the thread tight. You align the narrative with how the camera is moving, pulling back to show more and more scale.
And that becomes even more critical when you get to the nuclear weapon.
Oh, way more critical. Let's take the little boy bomb. Right now, the host just calls it disrespectful, which we'll get to that.
Right.
But imagine if he called back to the very beginning. If he said, remember that playground our guy was standing in? That entire area? It hasn't just been damaged, it's been erased.
So it's not just that the guy is dead. His entire world, his history.
His history is gone. And that really hammers home the terrifying leap from, tactical to strategic destruction.
It's so much stronger.
It is. It carries that emotional weight from start to finish. Okay, so let's move on to the second point. This is about tonal balance.
Yeah, and this is always a tightrope walk for reaction content, right?
For sure.
And the host's energy is great. Funny, he's loud, he's making these jokes about Cheetos on a hot dog.
It's entertaining. It keeps the momentum up.
But then you have this tension, the huge tension between the humor and the subject matter.
And the weakness is that dissonance. It can be really jarring for the viewer.
You have the joke about the hot dog stand, and then literally the next second, the video is showing the Beirut explosion.
With the real death toll, 218 people.
And the host reads it, says R.I.P. to them, and then almost immediately pivots back to the humor.
It feels uneven. It pulls you out of it because you don't know if you're supposed to be laughing or mourning.
It's like laughing at a funeral.
Right. So even if it's, a defense mechanism for him, the suggestion for the audience's experience is to compartmentalize.
Code switch the tone.
Code switch. You have your comedy for the smaller, theoretical stuff, and then a more grounded, solemn tone for the historical tragedies.
So for Beirut, for example, the idea would be to just drop the persona for a second.
Exactly.
Change your vocal tone, lower the volume, acknowledge the reality of what's on screen without immediately trying to find the next joke.
Read the room, basically. Even if the room is a video, yeah. And the language matters, too. That disrespectful comment about Hiroshima really stands out.
It does. It feels like slang you'd use for something trivial.
Like someone cutting you off in traffic. It just minimizes the event. So instead of that, he could channel that same shock into the physics of it.
How so?
He could say something like, it's terrifying that something so small could cause that. That preserves the shock, which is the whole point of a reaction.
But without trivializing the tragedy.
Exactly. You're guiding the audience's emotional journey, not just, reacting at it.
That's a great way to put it. And it brings us to our third point, which is about enhancing observation with synthesis.
Right. Because right now there's a lot of what you might call play-by-play commentary.
Yeah, a lot of say what you see. Things like, that's a big shockwave. Or he's reading the text off the screen.
Right, 15,000 tons of TNT.
And the weakness there is that it doesn't really add value for someone who is also watching the same video.
It's an echo, not an insight. The viewer is there for the personality's brain, not just their eyes.
So the suggestion is to shift from that passive observation to something more active, more synthesis.
Yeah, or just comparative analysis, asking questions.
Okay, but what does that look like in the moment? You don't have time to, write an essay?
No, of course not. But you have time to wonder. Take the moment he's confused that the father of all bombs looks smaller than the little boy nuke.
Right, he just says it's disrespectful, again.
Exactly. But what if he paused and just wondered why? He could say, wait, how is the nuke smaller but way deadlier? That doesn't make any sense.
Ah, so you turn confusion into curiosity.
You invite the audience to think with you. It's so much more engaging.
Okay, give me another one.
The Tsar Bomba. It says 50 megatons. And he just reads the number. But that number is meaningless. It's too big.
Right.
So to synthesize, he could call back to the very first explosion, the 1-gram firecracker, and just say, guys, remember that tiny pop? This is 50 billion times that.
That connects the end to the beginning.
It connects everything. It makes the mind-blowing scale actually feel mind-blowing. It respects the audience while doing the work for them.
Which again goes back to that narrative consistency. It's all connected. Okay, final point. This one is more structural. It's about audience interaction.
The CTAs, the like and subscribe moments.
Yeah, and the host seems to have a strategy of dropping them in at moments of really high tension.
He does, like right before a big detonation, or when he's talking about the W-78 warhead.
A nuclear re-entry vehicle.
A terrifying concept. And the weakness is, it's just an interruption. It feels like a commercial break right at the climax.
It completely shatters the immersion.
It really does. You've built up all this dread and awe, and then you're asking for a click? It gives the audience emotional whiplash.
So the suggestion here is to weave the CTAs into the fabric of the video, not use them to poke holes in it.
Exactly. Make them feel organic. For example, at the very end, the host has this great, genuine line. He says, make love, not war.
Yeah, it was a really strong emotional beat to end on.
It's the moral of the story. So tie the subscription ask to that. Say something like, if you agree, if you want to build a positive community, hit subscribe.
So you're aligning the channel's growth with the video's actual message.
It feels earned. Or if you want a funny one, use it earlier. He has that joke, the only bomb I want to see is the explosion when you hit subscribe.
That's a good line.
It's a great line, but use it during the grenade, not the Tsar Bomba. Keep the comedy with the comedy and the gravity with the gravity.
It all just comes down to reading the emotional temperature of the content.
Yes. Don't step on your own toes.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. Let's synthesize our own critique.
I mean, the takeaway is that this is a piece of content with really high potential. The host has the energy, the timing, the raw ingredients are all there.
But it can be elevated. So let's recap the actionable take first.
First, commit to the bit. You have the construction worker. Don't just kill him off. Carry that human proxy all the way to the end to keep the scale relatable.
Second, code switch the tone. You can't use the same energy for a firecracker and for Hiroshima. You have to separate the comedy from the moments that need real solemnity.
Third, add. Don't just echo. Get beyond just reading the text on screen. Ask why. Connect the beginning to the end. Give us synthesis, not just observation.
And finally, integrate your CTAs. Don't break the spell you've worked so hard to create. Move those subscription asks to natural breaks or tie them into your final message.
It's really just about tightening the screws on what's already a very strong foundation, just applying that extra layer of editorial judgment.
Exactly. Well, we want to thank the listener for sending this in. It takes guts to put your work out there for a critique like this.
It really does, and I would genuinely love to see a second version of this. Take these ideas, apply them, and see how it feels.
Please do submit your work back to us again. We always love seeing the progress. Thank you for listening to The Critique.